Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do some linear graphing review. This is all stuff that you have covered extensively in middle school and then again in this class, so it should be very familiar. We're going to go through all the forms of a line that we have worked with. The first form of a line is called slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. If you don't remember what m is going to be the slope. Slope is, again, rise over run, so we like to write it as a fraction. And b is the y-intercept. So if you don't remember, all y-intercepts have 0 for their x-coordinate, and then it will be the b value. So that's the coordinate. To graph these lines, if you're in slope-intercept form, let's just get this out of here. To graph in slope-intercept form, you are going to first plot the y-intercept, and then you will use the slope. So you'll count the rise over run from there. Oops, that's not how you spell rise. Rise over run. So, first thing, in this problem, it says negative 2/3 x plus 6. That means that the slope is negative 2/3 and the y-intercept is 6. So I'm going to start at 0, comma b, which in this problem is 6. 0, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. So there's my first point. Now I'm going to use the slope. It is negative, so I'm going to go down as I read left to right. And if the slope is 2/3, I'm going to first go down 2, that's my rise, down 2, over 3. 1, 2, 3, that's right there. Now I'm going to do this as many times as I can. Down 2, over 3, down 2, over 3, which is the same as going up 2, left 3. And then I'll do that again, up 2, left 3. I want to fill this space, and then I definitely need to use a straight edge to connect those lines. You want this to be very good, especially when we start to do systems. It's very important that these are drawn very well. And that's pretty good there. So there's my first one. That's in slope-intercept form. Standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now, by themselves, a, b, and c don't really mean anything. A, b, and c are just kind of placeholders for coefficients. If you move stuff around, you can learn the slope and you can learn intercepts. But to graph, what we normally do are plug in zeros to find intercepts. And I apologize for my handwriting. It's especially tough on this thing. So we're going to plug in zeros to find our intercepts. That means if I want to find the x-intercept, what I'm essentially doing is plugging in 0 for y. So the ordered pair that I'm working with is if I plug in 0 for y, this whole thing's going to go away because 6 times 0 is 0. So then I have 3x equals 9. If 3x equals 9, and I say I want the x-intercept, divide both sides by 3, and you get the x-intercept is 3. So the x-intercept is 1, 2, 3, right there. When you plug in 0 for y, you solve the equation for x, and you get 3. I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So I'm finding the point when x is 0. So if you plug in 0 for x, this whole thing goes away. So you have 6y equals 9, and then when you solve that equation, you get y equals 9/6 is 3/2, or 1.5 is a decimal. I like 3/2, but that's the y-intercept. So 3/2 is right there. Now once you have those 2 points in standard form, you can draw them, but it's probably a good idea to think about, can I count that slope a couple more times? So this is down 1.5 over 3. So I'm going to try and do that a few more times because these points are actually really handy. Down 1.5 over 3. 1, 2, 3. That puts me here. Down 1.5 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 1.5, left 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 1.5, left 3. Right there. One more time. Up 1.5, left 1, 2, 3. So now, having all those points is going to be really handy when we're starting to solve systems of equations, so that's a good habit to get into. That's standard form. Point-slope form of a line is y, oops, that's not a y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So m is still the slope, but x1, y1 doesn't have to be an intercept. When you're talking about point-slope form, this can be any point on the line. So this is really my favorite, because it's the most versatile. You can use any point. If you can give me 1 point on the line in the slope, I can use point slope, and that's great. The trick to this, though, is that the equation has a minus sign in it, so you got to be careful, because it's supposed to be y minus something and x minus something. So there's kind of like a sign flip people think about here, but let me show you here. X minus something, so it's x minus, what did they plug in for this to get to be a plus 2 because it's supposed to be minus. That means they plugged in negative 2. So the x-coordinate is negative 2. And again, it's supposed to be y minus something. So what did they plug in the something? That's a positive 3. So when you see a minus sign, that means they plugged in a positive 3. When you see a plus sign, that means they plugged in a negative 2. So the starting point is negative 2, positive 3. You don't start on the y-axis necessarily. You can start anywhere. Negative 2, 3. Then I'm going to count my slope. So just like slope intercept, I'm going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And I'm going to do that as many times as I can. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Down 1 left 2, down 1 left 2, down 1 left 2, down 1 left 2. And now I have all those points. I can go ahead and draw my line. So that's 3 forms of line we've done. You need to be very proficient in all of them because they're all going to show up. Here's some practice problems. You should try them. Maybe hit pause and then watch me do them. But I'm going to go through them. So this is in slope intercept. So the y-intercept is negative 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. And the slope is 3, which is 3 over 1. So I'm going to rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, run 1. Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, run 1. Rise 3, 1, 2, 3, run 1. That's the same as going left or down 3, 1, 2, 3, left 1. Down 3, left 1. All those points are potential intersection points, so it's important that you plot them all. The second one is in point slope, so you got to figure out what they plugged in. Remember, it's supposed to be x minus something, so that means they plugged in a negative 4. So the first point, the x-coordinate is negative 4, and it's supposed to be y minus something. That means they plugged in a 1. So negative 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 is right there, is where I'm going to start. Then my slope is negative 2/3. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, right 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do that a bunch of times. Down 2, right 3. Down 2, right 3. Down 2, right 3. Up 2, left 3. Up 2, left 3. Now I have all those points, and I can draw my line. I want this to look like perfect. If I can get like perfect, that's better. Nice. Okay, there's my second one. So that's point slope. Last one is standard form. So for standard form, I'm going to plug in first, I'll do 0 for y. So if I plug in 0 for y, this whole thing goes away. So you have 2x equals 10. Well, that means that the x-intercept is 5. So this is 5, 0. That's my first point. 5 zeros right there. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So if I plug in 0 for x, this goes away, and you have negative 3y equals 10, which when you divide, you get a decimal. Y equals negative 10/3, which is negative 3 1/3, if that helps you. Negative 10/3 is negative 3.3 repeating. So my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3 1/3 right there. Okay, so there's my line. Now if I want to try and get some extra points, I can do that. It's a little trickier. I need to go up 3 1/3 and over 5. So I'll try it. Let's see. Up 1, 2, 3 1/3. That's about there. And over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right there. Okay. If I go down 3 1/3, down 1, 2, 3. Remember, I'm already at a negative 1/3. So down 1, 2, 3, and then I go next one. So that's actually 2/3 now. Then left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. So that's negative 5 2/3. No, negative 6 2/3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, negative 6 2/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2/3. Okay. I can do that one more time. So down 3 1/3, there's 3, and I have 1/3 left. So that actually puts me at negative 10, and then over 5 is also negative 10. So negative 10, negative 10. That's trickier, but those points are going to be really handy down the road. So that's slope intercept, point slope, and standard form. You need to be real good at all 3 of those, and then you're going to be good for systems. So that's all we got. Hit that like and subscribe button.